here at Gundam Planet, we're all about doing things purposefully and just full of logic, 100% logic around here. So I'm just gonna, no suspense here. This is what I'm doing. I got both of these for myself because I was planning on building them, and then they sold out in like 2 minutes. And I was like, well, like how am I supposed to review those? Like I can't review something that we're just never gonna have again. But Koto US is being good enough to bring the limited color editions, the shadow versions, which are purple and black, and the Aoi versions, which are like summer colors. Those are really cool. Of both these kits, we're gonna have both those variants in like September and October, I'm pretty sure. So I can review these, even though they're going to be slightly different colors, because the build will be exactly the same. So I'm really excited to be able to bring you both at once. I figured doing a separate video for each one would be silly, especially since these can combine, and then you can have like the ultimate version of both. So I'm gonna, try and bring you as in-depth a review as possible of both of them. Now, when I open this one, the first thing I notice is that there are like a zillion runners in here. This isn't like a Bandai Master Grade where there are runners that take up the entire box and you get 5 of them and that's it. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Manual. There's even 2 manuals. Well, actually, this is like a cute comic, but where was I? 13, 14. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I'm not even counting these 2 that I left wrapped. 26, 27, and the stand. Then you got face, and then some skin, and then hands for days, and then some more armor parts. And like, do you see how this is just a weird little mountain of runners that are smaller than my hand? That's just like literally, like, look at the 3 parts. So like, I'm not exaggerating when I say it took me 5 minutes of just unbagging this plastic to even get to it. But I guess that was a very roundabout way of saying that there are a lot of small parts, and it's very detailed. And I'm honestly hoping it's a little bit different from Frame Arms Girls. I haven't built a Megami Device girl yet, but I have built 2 Frame Arms Girls. So I'm gonna, see how this compares to that, see if there are any notable differences other than the fact that these things are manufactured in pairs and you can like combine them together to do stuff. So that's really cool. I don't know if I mentioned there are water slides. This is actually a pretty sizable sheet, and they have the eyes separately for some reason. I'm not really sure, because they're already on the face. Like you can see the faces have eyes. So it's just, it's cool that they give you a lot of stuff. So that was the Ninja. I don't even think it's really worth it for me to unbox the Archer on camera, just because it's probably going to share a lot of design similarities. But I'll take a look just to kind of humor myself here. And basically, if you don't want to get both of these, pick the one you like better, obviously. So here, the hair is different. This is the biggest runner. This is bigger than any of the runners in the other one. So I guess that there are some differences here. These are for the swords, which I know that the Ninja doesn't have ones that are that big. And then we kind of get back into small runner town. So, here I am with. This is just adorable. Like, look at this. Are you kidding me? This is the cutest thing I've ever seen. I really hope that the other versions of that come with this. So I'm just gonna get right to it. And I don't know if I'm gonna do the super in-depth like zoom in shots that I did when I was reviewing the Exia. I would like to. I have to see how well these models cooperate. If they don't cooperate very well, I'll probably be back in front of the camera. But if they're as good as I hope they are, you will see very in-depth shots. I'm not sure when, but I can promise it will be before the other ones come out, so stay tuned. Welcome back. The first thing I want to say is that Kotobukiya has gone and made a fool of me, and we actually got the Shadow versions about 2 months before I expected them, so they've been here for a while now. And we already have the Ninja Aoi, and the Asra Aoi is literally on a truck on its way to us ahead of schedule right now while I'm recording this. So I didn't get the review done by the time I said I would, but at least now you have varieties to pick between. Anyway, enough of that. It's time to get down to brass tacks. After building both of these, I can safely say they're a vast improvement on the Frame Arms Girls that I built. both in process and finished product. The build was straightforward and intuitive, and even with the added step of clear coating the skin pieces matte, each one probably only took me about 3 hours from start to finish. Part separation makes even a straight build look great, and only details I had to add myself were the white accents on the weapons and the hair bows. The water decals included in both sets add a great amount of accents, and they're also much improved on the ones included in the Gurai, which I remember being much more brittle and difficult to work with. I didn't have a single one break on me with these. There are some runners here in the girl part of the kit that clearly are reused throughout the Megami Device line, and as a result you don't end up using many of the parts on those, which leaves you with some extras. And I'm not sure if you could use them to build these particular kits in a different way, but that seems like something that some of you might want to experiment with. If you don't already know, the ongoing gimmick of the Megami Device line is that the kits are released in pairs that are similar to each other in appearance and structure. And then, if you have both, you can combine the parts to create an ultimate version of one or the other. I think this is a really neat touch that encourages you to combine parts and accessories in interesting ways, but the flip side of it is this. If you want to display both ultimate versions, then you'll actually need to buy 4 model kits, 2 of each. Given the already high price tag, which I'm not saying it's not worth it because I really think these are excellent, you get near Figma quality out of the finished product, which is amazing, but still, shelling out 4 times MSRP to have the complete set is a little rough. To break the review of the finished products down, I'm going to go in order. The base bodies, the armored forms of each, and the ultimate form of each. To start with the body, Kotobukiya has probably perfected the anime girl body as far as model kits go. The proportions are almost exactly the same as Figma's, and although the nature of a model kit does make some things less intuitive than figures, I really don't think that there's any way they could have improved it. The parts are just small enough and the segments of the body broken up enough to give optimal posability while maintaining proportions and limiting weird unnatural gaps in the joints. Each one includes 3 choices of face and 5 different interchangeable hands for each mode, so that's 10 total. So you have plenty to choose from right off the bat. The hands are very dynamic and easy to switch, although the nature of the ball joint in the unarmored mode does make them fall off a little easily sometimes, but that's a very minor issue. Even in the base form, you can create combat poses and have them holding weapons, although they definitely will not stand on their own for extended periods. I got them too for this review, but if you're going to put it on a shelf, they will definitely tip over. The feet on these kits are very small and are definitely not designed to hold weight or balance, but the kits do come with a stand for each that allows them to be posed on the ground. If you want to have them in the air though, you'll definitely just want a new flying base. Yes, that's actually the name of the product, new flying base, which we'll be using for the rest of the review. Thankfully, it's very easy to switch between normal and armored modes. Rather than have a complicated system of armor that gets layered on over the base figure like you do with Armor Girls projects, these simply have swappable limbs, so you can just yank off the normal ones where the skin color ends and then put on the armored ones. There is a little snag where you have to disassemble the torso partially to add a scarf and accommodating neck parts, but all in all, it takes less than a minute once you know how it works. You can also switch out the back of the headpieces if you want to give them a little extra armor around the ears, but it's definitely not necessary. It's just up to you if you'd like to complete the look. As for the weapons here, the ninja has very straightforward single blades that can be held in each hand or mounted on each arm completely without issue. As far as the archer goes though, the big bow form of a weapon is a little too heavy to be held normally, but the kit features a bar that connects the forearm to the weapon itself, assuring stability even without the use of an extra stand. I do want to mention that since I top coated all the skin parts, the joints on mine are tighter than they would be on a completely straight build, so you might experience a little more drooping if you don't do exactly what I did. On that note, you should refrain from top coating the neck ball joint because I did that on mine by accident and it ended up being a little too tight on the ninja and I think I ended up screwing up a piece. The only parts that caused me any consistent headache to this point were the shoulder blade covers and the arm gauntlets where the weapons attach. Those regularly had covers fall off over the course of my recording, and I would definitely recommend cementing them in place. That is a very easy fix though, to literally the only problem I've had with this kit. Moving on, when it came to the ultimate form, I was pretty worried that I was gonna have a colossal nightmare like trying to pose the full armor unicorn for a cop. The good news is that's not the case at all. Since everything uses the same 3mm pegs and holes, everything fits very nicely, easily, and securely where it should. You could probably even stack some more nonsense MSG weapons on here if you really wanted to go for it. Whether or not you like this mode comes completely down to your opinion of the appearance. Honestly, I think it makes them look a little too samey, but if you wanted to go whole hog and buy 4 kits to build them both in this form, I'd recommend getting pairs from different color variants to spice it up. Side note, if I'd known what I do now, I would have gotten the Howie variants. They have really cool neon effect parts instead of the flat gray plastic for the weapon blades, and that's a huge difference in my opinion. If you only want to display one ultimate form, I personally would choose the Archer because that sword is super sick. However,
As you'll see in some shots, I actually opted to mix and match elements of each ultimate form onto both, and it still looks really great. To be completely honest, if I had to pick only one of these to purchase, it would be the Archer hands down. If you like the character design of the ninja, then that's your call, but in terms of stability of weapons and accessories, I just found the Archer to be so much more cooperative, and I think it's because the extra armor parts are on her legs, which are admittedly much more substantial than the arms, whereas the ninjas are on her arms. I switched the Archer's pose 5 or 6 times while reviewing it, whereas the ninja I only did 2 or 3 before getting a little tired of it. Still though, I do recommend getting the set because of how excellent they look when paired together and how well the compatibility system and gimmicks work. At the end of the day, I think that's the best thing I can say about these. If you get both, you really can mix and match to your heart's content, which is a really neat thing Kotobukiya has done. They've really mastered the concept of interchangeability in a way that Bandai hasn't even nailed down yet. Not only that, but for better or for worse, Kotobukiya has pioneered the entire mechanical girl model kit genre, which is now even spread to Aoshima and the Macross series. It's really incredible how what they did with Frame Arms girls took the model kit world by storm. They started it, and this release really cements just how good they are at what they're doing. If you like the way that these kits look in pictures, there's absolutely no way you won't also enjoy the build and quality of the finished product. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. We know these reviews are very few and far between, but we hope that you do enjoy the ones that we're able to make. If you have any questions about things I didn't address in the video, feel free to drop a comment and I'll be happy to respond to them. We'll see you next time, whenever that may be.